hi Lord Virus of Nurgle, hi John the Templar, and anybody else whose name I haven't read out from the list over there. Sorry, it's all the way over there, and I can't see it. So, welcome to this evening's stream where I'm going to be doing some painting of some miniatures. Now, I have been getting myself all wound up over the weekend because in 2 weeks' time we're going to be having a bolt action campaign day at the shop. So we're going to be playing some bolt action, and we're doing a Sicily campaign day. So we're doing the assault on Sicily and the kind of Axis defence. And it looks like I'm going to be required to play as an Axis player because I have a German force and an American force. Oh, Mrs. MLG is back. Hopefully she might be able to fix some of our technological issues. I'll let Mrs. MLG answer that one, Lord Virus, when she gets here in a second. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a bolt action campaign day, and I'm going to be participating on the German side because we've got lots of allied players. However, little problem is I cannot find my German army, and it is driving me around the bend. I know where it should be, it is not there. And but recently I have taken a whole load of minis and other things, and I have boxed them up and put them somewhere safe because we were doing some in-house and decorating and what have you. The only problem is that I cannot find that safe place, and I've eliminated a couple of potential safe places earlier on today, and I have not been able to find them. But I have just been for another quick route around while I had a minute before the stream started, and I have found some figures which I never actually finished painting, which are these guys, and they're incredibly shoddy. So what I'm going to do is try and do a little bit of stuff with these, because the list that I normally run for bolt action is based on the last defence of the Rhine. So some of the figures don't quite suit Sicily, so we're going to introduce a couple of different figures into the force when I do find the rest of the guys. So I was just going to do a little bit of work on these chappies that I've got on the table here. So if bear with me a second, I just need to grab the super glue because this guy's head has fallen off. Bear with me a second. Oh, no, Chunkster, I haven't lost them. They're perfectly safe in a really, really safe place, and I just can't remember where I've put them. So yeah, I've lost them. I've got my Americans. I found those. They were in a box at the shop, in a carry case, but the Germans are in a different type of box, and it should be really obvious. In fact, I've just had a brainwave of exactly what the box looks like. But so when you've been using your super glue, you should tap it on the table a couple of times to get the super glue back down the nozzle so it doesn't stick to the nozzle. Mr. MLG's tip. Yeah, I've just had a vision of what the box should look like. Tony says, funny you should mention that because he's been sticking some Conflict 47 stuff together today. Yeah, when I had a quick scan around the shop trying to make sure I hadn't left them at the shop. I've got a little stash of Conflict 47 minis, but unfortunately they're a bit too high tech for Sicily. Unfortunately, I don't think many of my opponents would like it if I turned up with power armoured infantry for the scenario. There's a wild something, a wild Nidorom, one of them in chat. If anybody would like to exclamation mark poke catch. Pete says that he'd lost his mind somewhere between his house and MLG. Well, so long as you're in the mood for buying loads of stuff when you get to us, Tony, Pete, even. Sorry, I do apologise. Right. So what I think I'm going to do with these guys is... we're getting there. We're getting there.
Did you forget to switch my microphone off so you had an echo?
Yeah.
I'll let you alone for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I've
told everyone that you deserted me.
Did you tell them I was just looking after the small human?
Yeah.
And not just that I'd run away?
Yeah. Run away. We've been trying, but I couldn't figure out how to get the thing over here, so we got there. So I was leaning over there. So everyone's experienced 10 minutes of absolutely rubbish quality stream. Hashtag pro streamer. Clearly can't do this without you, my darling.
Wow, that's a good job we're a team.
Yeah.
Hey Lord Virus and Nurgle, how are you doing?
Lord Virus says that our last Instagram post was very intriguing, but I don't know what it was. So.
Was it the RPG? I did a post about the RPG that you said that you'd added today.
Oh yeah.
The Gothic horror.
Vaesen.
Yeah, that one. Was it that?
The Vaesen Nordic horror game. So what I think I'm going to do with these guys is I might try some contrast paint out on them. And we haven't got the new contrast paints because I forgot to bring them home. They have just restock of Waterdeep.
Ah, that one. Yes, you're very excited about that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Your favourite game.
It's my favourite board game. It's absolutely fantastic.
Do that mini post. I've forgotten what it was.
So we're going to try out some contrast paint for these Germans. They've had a little bit of paint thrown on them before, but we're gonna start again. So we're going to grey sear them all over, and then we're going to go start again.
Everyone wants to know more about the RPG that I thought it was now, though. So you can tell us more about that.
Oh well, so it's I know nothing more than it's been recommended as being very, very good. It's a Nordic horror. So I don't know what's different about Nordic horror than, like, say, American horror or British horror. But the picture on the front of the book looks awesome. I can tell you that the book itself is very high quality. It's got a really nice textured finish to the front cover. It looks absolutely fantastic, and it is published by Free League, who have done other fantastic games like Morkborg and Simbaroom and Forbidden Lands. They've got a real the Tales from the Loop RPG and the new Alien RPG. They've got like a real good catalogue of RPG stuff going. They've also done Twilight 2000. They've remastered Twilight, which is a really great roleplay system, and they've just run a successful Kickstarter, which we've backed as a retailer because we like their stuff. So they've just done a successful Kickstarter for Blade Runner, the RPG, which is based on the similar kind of game system to Twilight, I believe.
John says Nordic horror has more beards. Lord Nurgle would like to know more about Waterdeep.
So
definitely knows about this one.
Yeah. So Lords of Waterdeep is it's a fantastic board game. The first game that I ever played that didn't involve dice, which was a little confusing to me at the time, but proper board game that didn't involve dice at least. And so you play over 8 turns, and the idea is that you have secretly picked a Lord card. So you get issued a Lord card at random at the start of the game, and each one of those lords is a recognisable character from Waterdeep. It might be a guild master or something similar. And then you'll have certain win conditions on your card. So you might have the Xanathar. So the Xanathar's in the Skullport expansion. I think Hallister is as well, if I remember rightly. But the Mad Mage. But you might have, say, the Xanathar. and the Xanathar might be that you get extra points for each corruption marker that you've got on your thing in each completed crime quest or something along those kind of lines. And you have to collect resources by placing your meeples around the board. Thanks, Pete. And then halfway through the game you get an extra meeple, and there are other scenario type events where you can also get extra meeples to use. So you can go around the board collecting resources which are in the shape of little cubes in different colours. So orange are warriors, white are clerics, purple are wizards, and black are rogues. So you're collecting members of your role-playing adventuring parties, and then you use the resources to complete quest cards, and then the more quest cards you complete earn you points, and the more points you get, obviously, the more you win. And then you can build buildings in the city, and different buildings allow people to go to different places and collect different resources, and all those kind of cool things. But it only lasts for 8 turns, so there's no... You're time sensitive, really. You've got to really plan ahead what you're going to do, and then you can scupper. You get intrigue cards that you can play, and some of the intrigue cards are mandatory quests. You can force your opponents to do mandatory quests, so you might make them do some kind of clearing out the trolls from underneath the mages guild that makes them exhaust 2 of their mages resources. And the purple, the mage ones, and the cleric ones, the white ones, are the hardest to accumulate out of all of the resources. So if you can make your opponents expend their good resources, or you can steal resources off them as well, but if you can make your opponents discard their resources by having to fulfill mandatory quests, then that gives you an extra advantage. Very, very good game. No 2 games I've played have ever been the same as well. And then the Scoundrels of Skullport expansion adds extra board sections and new buildings and new cards and stuff.
Lord knows, would you say it's similar to Discworld and Mock?
I've never played that, so I don't know, I'm afraid. I could imagine that they could be similar. So I am painting some German soldiers. I can't find my box. It was explaining that I can't find my box of Germans, but these ones I did find while I was looking for the other ones. So I thought I'm going to paint a couple of guys, because the list that I have used previously will not be suitable for the scenario that the boys want to play, because it's too late war. So I'm going to have to substitute some of the things that I've used before with some others. So we're going to have an extra machine gun team painted up and a couple of other bits and pieces. So this guy's got a rifle grenade on that they attach to the end of the gun and fire it off like a rocket. Some different equipment for a different theatre of the war. Although I'll be very disgruntled if I can't find my other box, because it's got my fully painted tank and some other stuff in it. It's got to be around here somewhere.
They're in a shoebox.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I can see him sat in the shoebox.
Yeah.
It used to be in the cabinet.
Yeah.
I don't know what you've done with the shoebox.
Yeah.
You know, that really sturdy miniature carrying thing, an old shoebox.
I know, well, they used to live in a proper miniatures carry case. I don't know why I ever took them out. I think it's because... No, because the case is still there. It still had some of these unpainted minis in it. I think it is because when we ran a bolt action day at the shop some time ago, I took them for people to use when they didn't have an army. And it's not that long since I had them on the painting table, because I touched up some helmets and things.
Well, this is a lesson for everybody. If you just put your stuff away, instead of cluttering your desk, because your desk is a right mess.
It is, yeah.
Then you might be able to find things when you wanted them.
If I'd put them back in the carry case where they should be.
Once you stop playing with your toys, before you get new toys out, put your existing toys you've got out of the way. Come on. Leave a little Miss knows that.
Stop it.
Who else just leaves all their stuff lying around all over the place? Who's tidy and who's not tidy? Come on, own up.
I'm definitely
You
not
are
tidy.
not tidy at all. Our desks are a completely different experience, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got so much. I don't know how you can work over there. It's ridiculous. I think Lord Nurgle and Red Snail are in your camp of untidy chaos. Is it organised chaos though? Is it the kind of chaos where you know where everything is? Or is it really just, nope, don't know where that's gone now?
It's. I think it's a reflection of my mind. Is it? Well, it is. It is because this is. It looks like it's a mess. The problem is, my desk looks like it's a mess, but I know where everything is. And if you were to come and move things and tidy up for me, then that would spoil my filing system.
Good job of open, isn't it? Last time I tried to tidy up, I sucked some up the hoover so I don't go near it.
Yes. One of my lovingly crafted Frostgrave treasure tokens. In fact, I could say that that's why I haven't played Frostgrave for so long, because I'm mortified by the fact that one of my treasure tokens was sucked up.
Alright, whatever. You know, I'm not taking the blame for that one. And Lord knows there's organised chaos, but it's now getting worse, and tried to pack for a house move that's fallen through. Oh no.
No.
It's rubbish when house moves fall through.
Yep.
Oh, we've sold it. Yeah, still subject to contract there. I hope the house move goes through. Yeah, we won't be able to pack. We just can never move because it'd just be a 20-year job to pack up all the stuff that we've got in the house. And our house is tiny. If we had a proper sized house with even another floor, because we don't have, it's a bungalow. We can never move, can we?
No.
That's all there is to it.
But that's why we live in a bungalow, because we didn't want to have to move.
That's true, when we're old we can just still be here.
Yeah. It's convenient. So, these guys, we're going to get these guys done, and then I've also got a little self-propelled gun going on over here. Which we're going to wax some grey on, I think, in a minute.
So, if these guys are like ball action, obviously a proper thing, not a fantasy thing, you have to use certain colours.
Well, yeah, you've got to kind of stay within a certain guideline, I guess, if you want them to look historically accurate. Now, one thing that is always a bone of contention in the wargaming community is people who want things to be very historically accurate. Now, you can only work as accurately as your miniature depicts, obviously, as well. And some people just don't sculpt their minis with enough buttons on their jackets and all those kind of things. And if you haven't painted the buttons the right colour, you're doing the right thing and all that sort of stuff. But for example, the German army in World War II had their uniforms come from several different factories, and the availability of dyes was different throughout the war. So anything from green to grey is in quite a broad spectrum of shades and colours. So, and the same with the tanks as well. So a lot of them came out of the factory in primer colours, and then the tank crews camouflaged them up and what have you, depending on what theatre they were fighting in. So, and obviously we haven't got many colourised photographs of World War II available, so we can only go on eyewitness accounts for a lot of colour schemes.
Tony says, I spent more time organising everything than I do hobbying. Everything is boxed by type or fraction, labelled and has its place. And then I've taken pics of my desk. Most people give me grief for being too tidy. Don't be too tidy, as long as you know where it is. That's the most important thing. Lord Varus and Nurgle says, have you tried the new contrast paint, Nathan? We did a thing, we did a stream with the new shades, comparing them.
Yep.
But you haven't tried the contrast paint shot, have you?
Not yet. Not yet. I did partly because I forgot to bring them home with me. Because I was going to bring some home. What's that noise?
It's a car outside.
Oh.
And the dog's chewing his bone. Depends on which noise you're talking about.
Yeah, it was like a weird kind of vibrating noise.
I think you're right on that one, Pete. I think the Pokemon community game was fixed then, because everybody had a go at that, didn't they? Fix. Pete says you could have pink tanks.
No, we're gonna have a base grey. I think this is a Marder 2, if I remember correctly. Which has no crew. I always thought it was a bit bizarre that I didn't have any crew for it, but it's we're going to paint that. And we're going to paint it with some slate grey from Green Stuff World. And then I shall adorn it with some other shades. I've got a Panzer IV that I've painted, and also in the same box with the Panzer IV is a Puma, which I would also like to try and get done in time for. But painting vehicles is a bit quicker than painting infantry, I think. Try and get those done in time for the day, because we're only playing 1,000-point games, which isn't very large, so we can have more games throughout the day. And Pumas are very good anti-tank, and also can move quite fast as well. So. Yeah, we've still got some spaces. If anybody would like to participate, if you've played before and you know what you're doing, because it probably wouldn't be the ideal scenario for somebody to learn how to play. But if you've played before and you would like to join in, you're more than welcome to come along. It's the only stipulation is that your army should be suitable for the Sicily campaign. So no Russians or Japanese, I'm afraid. Isn't it? We'll have to sort that out. Yeah, we've got a couple of spaces left. We're currently bound by the amount of terrain we've got available. For how many tables we can make up. We've not got quite as much terrain that would be suitable for this kind of setting. Someone is inevitably going to be playing over ye olde Black Bull pub and farm, and that be in the Sicily countryside. But we'll make it work. It'll be fine. We tend to play a lot more sci-fi and fantasy games than historical games in the shop. So we have got trees and hills and other bits and pieces. It's just like setting appropriate buildings and things we're a little bit shy on. But I did speak to our chap at Warlord today, who's very kindly going to sort us out with some bunkers and things, and then I'm going to see if I can rope the lads into getting them put together in time. Some tank traps. Maybe on a stream early next week we might be sticking tank traps together.
Furiously sticking tank traps together, going, "We're gonna get it done.
Yeah. So just worth noting now before we I forget later, there is no stream on Wednesday this week, unless you're doing it on your Todd.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see me paint.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you're leaving me again, aren't you?
Leaving you again to go.
Big meaning.
Go to a meeting. It's just a one-off, but
Yeah, that's right, Pete. You tell him. Ban Nathan. Yeah, better not tell him about like the whole month of August that we're not here.
yeah,
What these are in January.
it's only 1 week. Yeah. Oh, and then Wednesdays, and like, yeah, there's some more Wednesdays coming up, isn't there? That we've got to go to. Oh, I made the gun so it moves. Hey, that's handy. I can take it out for painting.
Oh, you forgot.
Yeah, I
That
forgot.
long.
Yeah, I forgot that I hadn't glued it in. Excellent. Ah, when you said I've lost my paintbrush, it sounded a bit like Wasp, and then it reminded me that when I picked my water pot up earlier on, that like what I thought was a wasp flew out at my face. And I was like, ah! And it turned out it was just a hoverfly.
Was that on the string?
But no.
There's loads of hoverflies. There's loads of hoverflies.
It was manky. It flew at my face. Why would it do that?
They seem to be quite dopey. They keep landing on my keyboard while I'm typing, and then I have to try and get them back outside again. They're a bit silly.
Pete'd like it to do a marble stream.
I don't even think it's still on the computer, Pete. It's been that long since we played it.
What's going on there? A bit of red. Bit of red going on mixed in with me grey. Don't know why that is. I can't remember what brand this is. I can't remember if it's a Blitzkrieg or a Warlord one.
Is it not the same?
No. I think it might be from Blitzkrieg.
Oh, that's like the beginning of streaming music. That confused me.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that Gorilla with a Brush had followed us an hour ago.
It's very kind of them.
Yeah. I've seen the Snow White Seven Dwarfs thing that Alan's doing. He always just blows me away with how awesome he is. He's a really nice bloke as well, but his painting is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like I paint something and think, oh, that's okay, and then he paints something and it's like it's alive.
There's some insane talent out there, isn't there?
There is some insane talent now. There really is. I don't even know where to start. It's a good job that like I'm just painting because you make me.
I don't make it.
That's how it
You
started.
like it now.
That's how it started. And not for like a job or anything like that. I think we'd be going hungry. What else? Oh, Panda, talking about going hungry. Panda's crying.
Why?
Because Panda's hungry.
Oh, thank you very much, John.
That's really kind of you. I like the little doggies in the jar. They're cute. I got the little doggies in the jar.
Aww.
Nice. Doggies in the jar.
Right. So I'm not gonna spend ages trying to get in all the nooks and crannies there. 'Cause I'm gonna dirty this track array up. I'm gonna make it so it looks like it's a heavily weathered. So it's only getting a basic going over.
Oh look, Tony's looking after Pando and us. Everybody
Yeah.
hydrate.
Thank you very much, Tony. We definitely need lots of hydration today because it is warm.
Not been as warm today as it was yesterday though.
No.
Well, it's still fairly warm. Obviously, it's only warm to us. Anywhere else in the world, they'd be like, "Nah, put your jumper on." It's just that we're not We're not used to it, are we?
It's too warm.
And we
It
like
was too warm to
complain.
sleep last night, wasn't it?
No, we like to complain about stuff, don't we? It's too cold, it's too warm. It's never just right, is it?
Let's put you down over there, and then hopefully our infantry will be dry, ready for some contrasty action.
Contrasty action.
Yeah. Contrasty action. So, I've got some... Oh.
You had some.
Yeah, I had some, but then the Demigorgon fell over and knocked this guy out. Right, so we're going to start with some Basilicanum Grey, I think. And we're going to do some trousers with Basilicanum Grey. Nathan, if you want to do some chipping on this, send me a message and I'll be happy to take you through how you do it. Cool. That sounds good. I shall do that after the stream. I've never really bothered trying to do it with like the hairspray and stuff. People sometimes use is it salt and hairspray or something like that, and then you like rub it off afterwards. But I've never really tried doing it that way. I've always just gone for like sponging and what have you afterwards. Right, let's find an appropriate paintbrush. Where's me regular? Red Snail says salt for me. Yeah, salt is what a lot of people have told me to use in the past. Right then, I'm gonna go for grey trousers, and then we're gonna go for a greeny colour for their jackets. And we're going to see how it looks. So yeah, the new contrast paints all turned up ready today. We've got everybody's orders ready. We can't ship them out until later in the week, but we've got everybody who's ordered new contrast paints. Your orders are all packed and ready for the shipping labels to be stuck on them later in the week, which is very organised of us. We weren't expecting them turning up today, so that was pretty good. It's been a fairly steady away day today because of the weather, I think, that gave us the opportunity to get these things sorted. But I meant to bring a couple home with me, so I could try them out on some stuff this evening. I want to try the new purple, Leviathan purple, and a couple of the others. The Baal red, everyone says, is really good, so I wanted to give that a go, and then yeah, totally forgot. Pete says hydrate.
Tony says, I do it with a bit of sponge and keep it conservative. I don't go too mental. Less is more,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Wild Pokemon in chat. Wild Pokemon in chat.
Yeah, I tried. When I painted the Panzer 4, I did it and just weathered it up with some various shades of brown. To be fair, on little bits and pieces, just to make it look as if it was heavily muddied up. But I didn't really do any chipping as such. And then when I've recently painted the Sherman that I did, so recently, it was probably like a month or two ago, or more than a couple of months ago, when I painted that, it currently looks like it's just come off the production line. So I definitely need to do some weathering and things on that one. This guy looks more like an American than a German until you turn him round to the back. Looks like he's more a paratrooper than a Grenadier, but he definitely is a Grenadier. don't know if everybody else finds it the same, but when it comes to games like bolt action, so I used to have quite a lot of historical knowledge, and it seems like I've just forgotten stuff. That it'll come back to me in dribs and drabs while I'm thinking about something else. You're like, oh yeah, I used to know that about that particular model of tank and things like that. I've forgotten all about it. Customer asked me about they'd seen our air rifle propped up in the stock room through the window of the post area the other day, and asked me about why we had it in the shop. Was it to fend off unsavoury types? I said, oh no, it's because when we first moved in we had a bit of a seagull, not seagull problem, you can't shoot at seagulls, pigeon problem. They were roosting outside the back door, and I never shot one, but shot the gun, like dry fired it to scare them away a few times, and I've never got around to bringing it back home. But it reminded me, we got onto a whole conversation about air rifles and what have you, and I'd completely forgotten that I actually used to be pretty good at target shooting and have won like competitions and things, and I'd just forgotten. I'd just forgotten that was part of like what I used to do when I was a kid. Something I'm good at. Tony says, I never got too much into historicals. The growly types demanding exacting details scared me off any interest in it. Yeah, well that's, yeah, the people who complain about the colour of the buttons and all that sort of thing, yeah, they're not the kind of people that I want to be playing games with. So I'll just play with people that are interested in having a bit of a laugh rather than things being absolutely historically correct. So I'm pretty sure that this radio operator guy that I've got here is more early war than late war, because he's got like knee-length boots on rather than... But he has got a later uniform, I think. But yeah, he won't be right for some folks. But I don't mind. Rule of cool and all that. If you're not having fun, what's the point? And Pete says, should be shot. I presume you mean people who are complaining about...
I think you mean seagulls.
Ah, right.
They're endangered. Protected. Shouldn't shoot animals. Mr. MLG hasn't shot any animals. Can we just make that nice and clear? He just made a big banging noise outside to scare them off. There is, because obviously we rent the building, all the people, just shoot everyone, Pete. Because we rent the building, the landlords have netting around, so it's actually not safe for the pigeons and the seagulls, etc., because then they get caught in it. So we make sure that they don't hang around, because then they can't get caught and get stuck in the netting.
We've been quite lucky, haven't we? We haven't had any get stuck in ours in the 2 years we've had the place. But the library over the road has probably one a week.
To be fair, our netting is better.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot better, because I used to be able to work where I could see the library netting, because the firefighters used to have to come and rescue the seagulls from the netting all of the time, and their netting is just not very good. The holes are massive, and then they get their feet stuck in it, whereas our netting is hard for them to get stuck in, if that makes sense. It's a different type. Hey, brother with a brush! We were talking about you earlier. we were, honest, all good things, all good things. It says, rule of cool is always the best rule. Nobody tells Andy Warhol that Aaron was fluorescent orange.
Hello, dog.
Oh, look, even the dog's come to see you.
He's brought me his ball, look, because he wants to play fetch. Sorry, mate, I can't play fetch now.
No, painting. How's it going, Gorilla? The dwarves are looking awesome. That's what I was saying saying earlier about your awesome painting and how you just make things look like real life.
What's that?
What have I... What? I missed it. I sometimes have the talent of appearing right when someone mentions me on street. Yes, you do. We summon you by saying your name 3 times.
I think you did say it 3 times as well. Right then.
So what are you doing?
I'm going to use some Militarum green for their jackets and see. It looks like it might be a little bit bright, but we're going to try it. Yeah, so we're painting some bolt action German Panzer Grenadiers. Oh, that's why that doesn't look right. It's a satchel. Yeah, so these are Panzer Grenadiers for the Sicily campaign, defense of Italy.
John the Templar likes to party.
That was one of the stream loot cards. That was actually Mr. MLG over there in our front garden on his roller skates in a wig, just because I made him so that I could film that. Because I'm a big meanie.
So you're a meanie.
Ah, you enjoyed it. I was quite impressed that you could actually still stand up, let alone dance about in your roller skates that you've not worn for 1,000 million years.
Yeah. I think this green's too bright. We might switch to the other one, Creed Camo, and see if that's a bit darker. I probably should have done the flesh first. Never mind. See if we can get things done a little bit quicker with this stuff.
No.
Sorry? Contrast paint.
But not the new contrast.
Not the new contrast paints, no. Cause I forgot to bring them home. Might have mentioned that a few times now. I'm a little bit grumpy with myself for forgetting. I should have painted the helmets with the grey. Well, I don't know.
There's lots of shudders going on over there. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's a good job that nearly everybody that watches the stream knows that we're not a how-to stream.
Yeah.
Just a us stream, doing it our way, not necessarily the right way.
Right. So that's an example of Militarum green. Now, to me, that looks a bit bright. So we'll put that over there for a minute.
Whoa, he's all over the place.
Oh, sorry. Alright, so yeah, that's Basilicanum grey for the trousers and then Militarum green for the jacket. Now we're going to move on to the next mini, but we're going to get the Creed Camo out and try that and see if that's a little bit more appropriate colour for what I have in my mind. Because I think Dark Angel's green will be way too dark. I'll just give this a good shake up. I didn't put mixing bowls in the green. Tony says pink webbing. No, we're not going to be doing any pink webbing today.
Not unless someone has a Streamloots card of paint.
Yeah, paint some in pink.
On the mini.
That's when Pete pops up and goes, funnily enough, I've been saving one for just that bit.
And I'm going to make you... and I'm going to make you paint the whole army pink.
Yeah.
So when's this game of bolt action that you're playing?
Sunday the 24th. So in a couple of weeks' time. And yeah, I need to find me models because it's driving me mad. I was explaining to everybody earlier on that it's slowly turning me crazy because I can't find them. and I know they're here somewhere.
They're sat in a box laughing at you.
I know.
That's what they're doing.
I know.
Maybe they're shouting, "Where are they?"
Turfed out all the stuff out of one side of the garage this morning. I just need to do the other bit to eradicate that.
What's the
But
best?
I'm sure they're not in the shop.
Sorry. What's the best undercoat for resin? You know, like a 3D print resin.
Well, depends what colour you want to paint
Nick
it.
the Hydrator loves this stream.
I've used.
Is it like a Vallejo undercoat fine?
Yeah, black spray, paint on, brush on, primer. Yeah, whatever you want really. The last ones I undercoated, I just used the Colour Forge matte black primer. I think that green is better than
Pete
the
the
pale
Hydrator
green.
wants you to say their name.
Say Pete's name.
Pete the Hydrator, Pete the Hydrator, Pete the Hydrator. Hi Pete!
You've worn his talky voice out now by making him say your name 1,000 times.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, we're going to stick with Creed Camo. I think that's a better colour. We're going to get some Creed Camo on this next few figures, and then we'll come back and we'll circle back around. We'll do the skin on them. Get a bit of stuff done.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. Just make sure you wash them well first.
Yes.
So for those that don't know, don't forget that we have in our Discord, we have channels for all sorts of painting incentives. We have a channel for the RCL, which is the only one that has prizes and is run by Reaper Miniatures themselves. But we have a channel where we talk about it and we find our duos and trios, etc. We also have a challenge that we're talking about, the Thorivol and Friends, which is happening again. We also have a channel for Goblin Inspiration, which is a once a month painting incentive, and we have a channel for our very own The Great MLG Brush Off. And the theme for the Great MLG Brush Off this month is tiny. And I've been asked a couple of times, how tiny do we call tiny?
I've got this
What's
out
that?
this
That's
morning.
That's just a blob.
This is a Space Marine attack bike for Epic 40k. This is super tiny Space Marine with a sidecar with a multi-melter on. That when I've painted that, I'm going to enter that in tiny. Found that out in my box of tricks this morning.
Awesome. I painted the bomb rats. You also had some mushrooms, didn't you? But
Yeah.
it's basically as tiny as you dare. Everybody has different eyesight levels, everybody has different skill levels, and everybody is welcome. It is not judged, it's just for fun, just part of the community. And at the end of the month, we make a video showcasing everybody's awesome work. So don't worry, it doesn't have to be minuscule, tiny fingernail. It's just tiny as you dare to push yourself to painting something maybe that you wouldn't normally. And there's a wild Pokemon in chat if you are playing the Pokemon community game. All the information on Goblin Inspiration and the Great MLG Brush Off and some information on Thorivol and Friends and the RCL, all that can be found in our Discord. We're a family-friendly Discord and we try our very best just to be friendly and supportive with each other. So it's free to join, so if you fancy that, then come on over.
Yeah. So I had something in my brain to say then and everything, and then it's gone. It's gone. So yeah. I've got several things on my painting table at the moment, not just these guys, but tomorrow night I'm going to be moving back to the Ogre and the Medusa that we started off last week. So we'll get a bit of paint on those on stream tomorrow night. Need to finish the basing on my tiny mushrooms. Here's my little tiny mushrooms. Don't know if you can see them. They're from a Mantic terrain set. Little teeny tiny mushrooms. Happiny has been caught by Chunkster. I'm also painting this guy. This guy's going to be a tiny as well. He's Dicarius Darksword, the Halfling Ranger.
Well, you're really going for it this month.
Oh,
aren't
yeah.
You can enter as many as you want.
Yep, that's good, because I've got a few. I'm also going to enter this guy in as a player character in the Reaper Challenge League, because there's nothing to say that you can't multi-use your entries, seeing as our painting incentive is ours and theirs is theirs. No reason why you couldn't use your tiny for summing in the RCL.
As long as it's a Reaper Mini.
As long as it's a Reaper Mini, that's
Tony
true.
says, I'm painting my Hasselfree Space Dwarves. They're the crew of the words I cannot say.
Diogenes. An organised, cohesive group who are hunting the crew of the Zap. And the Zap's the Goblin's spaceship, isn't it? What's this? I've never figured out what this guy's got. He's like some kind of multi-grenade thing going on, this guy. I think that's why I never painted him before. Because I looked at him and I thought, oh, that's just... Yeah, that's just wild, whatever that thing is he's got under his arm there.
Yeah, and the Goblin Inspiration theme for this month, run by the Goblin Squire Hamish, is vacation.
All right.
So I have to think, I can't think of anything. Normally I can go, oh, maybe that. I've got a shoe behind my chair, which leads me to think that the dog maybe has the other shoe and it's chewing it somewhere. I'm going to go and have a look.
Yeah, he's destroying it outside.
I'll go and rescue it.
What a git. They were right under my chair. What a git.
No, not funny.
I took my feet off because I've had my... took my feet off. I wish I could take my feet off. Took my shoes off because I've been on my feet all day at work, and because I'm old now and I need to relax. So I took my shoes off under the table, and stinking Mrs. MLG out with my smelly feet as well. But yeah, kicked my shoes off under the table. Thought I'd have a bit of a break, and the dogs nicked my shoes.
Got a hole now, look.
I've got a hole. Oh, what a smeghead. Guess I'm going to get myself a new pair of trainers tomorrow then.
It's only a little hole. You have to just wear them. It's covered in dog slime now.
Yeah.
But there's a bit. There's a bit.
Yeah.
You can have that bit. Stuff that bit back in.
I'll go get myself a new pair of trainers tomorrow. What a smeghead.
You'll have to do your outside shoes.
Yeah. Can be my decorating trainers.
John the Templar says hi.
Yeah, that little dog bit there.
Yeah. Gorilla of the Brush says, unknown bits always get painted brown. That way it just blends in with other leather bits on the minis, and then nobody pays it any attention. Yeah, because sometimes it's really hard, isn't it? If you find you've got a mini that's like cluttered with details, and you think like, well, what is that? What is that? Unless you can see a picture that somebody else has painted the same mini before. Like this. So these two that I'm doing here, this is a machine gun firing team, right? So the front guy's holding the bipod over his shoulder, and the other guy's, I mean, got dread to think what it'd be like if he'd be deaf. So he's firing the gun over his shoulder, but they've both got so much gear on their backs. So this guy in the front, he's got a I don't know. Don't even know what that is. It looks like a part of another bipod thing. He's got his submachine gun. He's got his little water canteen, a canister. He's got another backpack. He's got a bedroll, another water canteen going on around the other side. Looks like a binoculars case on the top. He's nearly got as much stuff as Oswald the Overladen. I'm just going to finish getting the green on this chap, and then we'll wind up for the evening. So I don't know. Anybody got any questions or anything that they would like to ask us before we round up for the evening? Obviously, I'm going to get to doing flesh colours and what have you this evening. I'll give you a glimpse of our progress tomorrow, because we're going to be working on those other things from last week. Tony says, you look at the Mini, think, what on earth is that? And eventually you come to the conclusion, I don't know, so it must be leather. Tony's got to go. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tony. It's always great to see you. Wow. Not see you, obviously.
Yeah.
See your words appearing in chat.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure. And I'll drop you a line about the weathering. Chip in. Thank you, John. Thank you. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. Look.
Oh,
So, yeah.
wow.
Well, you did say it was good.
Yeah. This same goes for everybody. We really, really appreciate you all being here. Otherwise, we'd just be like talking to ourselves. We know that we're not like a massive streamer or anything like that, but we hope that you just enjoy the chitter chatter and the nonsense that we come out with, and just spending a bit of your evening with us. We really, really appreciate it. It's awesome that you're all here.
Thank you very much, everybody, and hopefully we shall see you tomorrow night. Thank you very much.
Take care,
everyone.
everybody.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Bye.
Bye.